hope we can pick that
Mr.
up.
Patzer, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and thank you to the officials for being here. I just want to follow up with the Department of Finance quickly on a line of questioning that my colleague, Mr. Chambers, had. So can you just confirm for this committee that the Department of Finance does not have jobs data in relation to the emissions cap that's about to be announced this afternoon?
I don't have them in front of me, but the Department of Finance has access to the RES that,
Okay,
that
so
will be tabled.
So you have them, and they will be tabled with this committee?
Oh, I don't know. We're here to talk about Trans Mountain. I'm sorry, I'm not prepared to.
We're asking you to.
Okay, well, can you please table them with this committee?
Yeah.
I think my colleague said that the RIAS will be released with the draft regulations this afternoon, and that's a publicly available document that talks about the economic impacts of the proposed regulation.
Okay. When the minister was here, she said something quite fascinating in that she thinks that she can get more than $34 billion for Trans Mountain Pipeline. Do you have any study papers, documentation that would show that it is possible to get more than $34 billion for the pipeline?
I mean, we've already undertaken to provide you what we have, and so we will do that.
Do you have studies that show that you can get more than $34 billion for the pipeline?
We'll have to look at all the studies that we have.
Okay. Was she right to say that she can get more than $34 billion for the pipeline?
Well, there will be a point in the future when this goes to market, and the market will decide on the value. I think what I was trying to convey earlier was there's a number of things that will happen in the next couple of years that will be meaningful to understand the value for the pipeline when it eventually gets to market that we can't foresee yet. So there's certain analysis that can be done. Discounted cash flow analysis are one of them, and we can look at and comment on specific assumptions and variables. But that's what we have at this point.
So really what we have from this point is pure speculation by the minister, not necessarily based on any hard facts and data, because we know right now the pipeline it's not sellable at this point in time, right? The CER, for example, CER hasn't finished coming up with the toll rate, but even with the toll rates the way they are, there's a lot of uncertainty around where this is gonna land. So I mean, I think it's pretty wild that the minister would come in here and say she can get more than $34 billion. So just one more time, do you have any data that shows that it can be done?
We have lots of data that we've undertaken to provide, and we will do that.
Okay. I guess both departments, I'll give it to you guys to answer both of this. I'll start with finance. I want you to try this first. But did the minister ever ask the department to figure out how to reduce costs for the pipeline during construction?
Well, yes, and my hesitation is only because there's a couple layers that we're overseeing the project. So the Trans Mountain Board and management built a pretty significant project management team. And throughout the life of the project, especially at points of cost increases, there was quite a dialogue between government and Trans Mountain. There was a special third-party committee created by the Trans Mountain Board to challenge and test at that level the plans and the progress to see if there were any efficiencies to be gained all the way along. That happened again when it came into government to approve revised corporate plans and borrowing plans that enabled the increased borrowing to finish the pipeline. The Treasury Board took quite a long look and challenged on efficiencies and whether there was any more optimization possible, and really just to understand the drivers of the costs. So does that answer your question?
Natural resources, were you asked how can we reduce costs?
We're not responsible for the Trans Mountain Corporation. It's part of the finance portfolio.
Okay, thank you. Was it ever brought to your attention about, because again, we got to $34 billion, which is a jaw-dropping number. The private sector proponent walked away at $7 billion to $10 billion. So was there ever an analysis done to see, to compare if the government building it could be done cheaper than the private sector could have built it for?
I'm not aware of one, but we can look. I mean, there was certainly a lot of analysis along the way that took into consideration not only the costs that had already been sunk, but then what were the expected economic benefits from the pipeline. So beyond the costs, there's some fiscal advantages, some economic advantages to finishing the pipeline, which was also part of the the calculation along the way. But a specific, as you describe it, I can certainly look. There's probably pieces for sure.
Thanks.
Thank you.